Here we are back again with 10 more of my favourite songs that did not make it into the UK Top 40 in the 90s, covering off 50 through to 41 today. Ironically, and very cruelly of me, they are not making the top 40 of this countdown either. Hadn't realised the irony of that when I started doing the list, but just started doing it now as I tried to work out what kind of camera angle exists that doesn't make the focus of this video my crotch. It turns out there is no such camera angle. I've tried them all, so you're just going to have to deal with it. So starting at number 50. Number 50 is Africa Bambaataa and the horribly titled Poopanani. Now, anybody that went in Piccadilly 21s in Manchester between the years of something like 95 and whatever year I stopped going is very familiar with the song because it got played all the time at key moments of the night, and it was the Fargetta mix that really set the room on fire. And it's a tune and it's horribly named, and I've got to say, when I started loving the song I didn't actually know what Poopanani meant, and I'm kind of hoping you don't know what it means either, because it soils the song, but it's a big pumping Euro dance song. I'm not overly convinced it got released in the UK, but I bought it on import from HMV, and it should have been a hit because it's great, but it wouldn't have got any radio airplay because of the word Poopanani, which I'm going to stop saying because it's a horrible word. 49, Betty Boo, Hangover. The world of pop was very cruel to Betty Boo at the end of her very brief career. I don't think there was enough promo for Gurr. There was maybe wrong single choices, but this was a very, very good single choice, and it's a great track. Kind of pop, kind of laid-back rap pop country, if it's a thing. Betty does a great job in the video of being a Native American. And it's a really good song, and Guru It's Betty Boo, I will say again and again and again, is one of the greatest pop albums ever made, and yet she is number 49 of my countdown. 48 of my countdown is The Hitman by A.B. Logic. This didn't get in the top 75 at all. I don't know if it got in the top 100 because the official chart thing doesn't seem to detail the 100 at this time of the 90s. But I'm reliably told by the internet, didn't chart at all. And I heard this song on the chart show, and I taped it off the chart show, and I was obsessed with it, and I played it again and again, and I completely forgot it existed until last year. But now I'm obsessed with it again because it's quality Euro dances by the same people who did Tool Limited, but it's not Tool Limited, so it's quality. I also forgot I was doing chart positions as well. Betty Boo, 50 for 3 weeks. That was its peak position. Okay, so 50, 49, 48, 47, 40, 50, 49, 48, 47. Tori Amos, God. Now it appears that people were going, Tori Amos, gosh, by the end of the singles campaign for Under the Pink, because this was the tail end of it, and I thought this was a good one that was going to be a hit, but then passed the mission, and A Pretty Good Year got released after Cornflake Girl, and I assume it was single saturation that made people not want to buy it because they bought the album, but I thought this was an obvious standout, and it's a great album. It's one of my favourite albums ever, and it's one of my favourite songs. And for that reason it's number 47 in my countdown. It stalled at number 44, spent 2 weeks in the top 75. Next up, at 46, twins, all mixed up. Gail and Gillian Blakeney were in Neighbours as Caroline and Christina Alessi, and then they broke out and they released a single, and I was convinced it was going to be huge because it was a big pop, stock-ache and woman banger, and I was still in that zone at that time, and it didn't chart at all. It didn't get into the top 75. It may have got into the top 100, or the internet's lying to me, one of those two things. And I think it's great, and there's a I can't remember what it was in, but I think it was in Smash It, saying that they were born at the same time, but that doesn't mean they can actually sing at the same time, and that the vocals are just slightly off when they're singing together, and I find it entirely charming, and I think it makes the song even more fun to listen to. So 46, the twins, all mixed up. 45 is Cola Boy, He Is Cola. Cola Boy kind of being a little bit Saint Etienne. Like the side project of Saint Etienne is Bob Stanley and Pete Wiggs. Yeah, that's right way around. I thought I said it wrong then. And they did 7 Ways to Love, which was originally a Saint Etienne song, which went top 10, and then they released He Is Cola, and it didn't do anything. But I think this is a really charming, like Delight-esque with all the xylophone, glockenspiel, whatever, because that's what they sound like. And a little Japanese guy in a car going. And this also did not get into the top 75 at all, which was a shame, because again, I think it's a great song. 1, 2, 3, 4, 44 on the countdown. Clubhouse featuring Carl Nowhereland. In my head, this is from Neverending Story. I don't know if anyone can verify that for me. I mean, obviously I could Google it, but I can't be bothered. And after their singles Light My Fire and Living in the Sunshine, somebody's walking past my house with very bad hair. I mean, I cut mine off, but it was like kind of like this, but then with a big ponytail at the back. I digress. Noel and Clubhouse. Living in the Sunshine was the single previous to this, and this is better than Living in the Sunshine, and it should have been a hit. And it just reminds me of like Neverending Story kind of vibe. I like it a lot anyway. 43. Ooh, this is a special edition here. 43, Kim Wilde, It's Here. I don't know why this wasn't a hit, because it was the lead single off the album, and she'd just come back and she must have done the promotion, and it's a really good tune. It's one of the best songs she's made, and it stalled at, I have written it down, Clubhouse 56 for 2 weeks. Kim Wilde stalled at number 42, which must have been frustrating with her because it hung around for 5 weeks. This is a 7-inch box set. Ooh, what does it have inside? The 7-inch, and if I remember rightly, a poster and a lovely polythylene. Does that go through anyone? Sorry, couldn't resist. And I bought this off a jumble sale, which is probably why it's so tatty. But I mean, it's alright telling you this now, but I remember being absolutely astounded that the number of this box set was the same as my my bank PIN number at the time. It's not anymore. Pointless trying to rob me and use it. 42 is Looking at You by Sunscreen. Now I've cheated a little bit because this wasn't released as a single in this country, but in my head the entirety of '96 I was waiting for this to be released as a single, because the album version of this it's their song sung over a lightened up version of Papua New Guinea by Future Sound of London, which is one of my favourite ever songs, and it's beautifully done, and it's poetry, and there's the dance mix, you've heard of it. isn't as good. Still good, isn't as good. And it was a shame because this should have been released as a single over Secrets, which I don't really rate at all. Even though it's off one of my favourite albums of all time. So 42, Sunscreen, Looking at You. I think it was a big hit in America, this. Well, big hit in America in the dance chart. 41 is Snap featuring Summer, World in My Hands. Big hands, big hands. Metaphorically. World in My Hands, Snap featuring Summer, the third single off Welcome to Tomorrow, after Welcome to Tomorrow, and the first, the last, Eternity, brackets, Until the End. But it doesn't actually say Until the End in the song at all, so I just don't understand why it has that at the end of it. But hey, that's not the song we're talking about. We're talking about World in My Hands. They also had another single after this off that album, Rame or Rami or whatever it was, which was also great. We didn't feature in our countdown. I do love the song a lot though. The album version of this is kind of like thumping. I don't know what I'm saying, but it's this. It does this. And this is all like lightened up and floaty, like the clouds. Floaty. This got to number 44, hung around in the chart for 2 weeks in 1995, and again, it's a shame. It should have been a hit. It wasn't a hit, and damn you for not buying it. You could go and buy it now. It probably wouldn't help. Oh, imagine if this video hyped this song into the charts. Imagine. Yeah. That was 50, 3 to 41 of my favourite songs of the 90s that did not get into the UK Top 40. Next up, the songs from the 90s that didn't get into the UK Top 40 that did get into my Top 40 of the songs that didn't get into the Top 40 in the 90s.